My name's Roma Mills and I work for Carers in Hertfordshire, and I'm a member of the co-production board, and we had a board meeting this morning with a very full agenda. Now, probably one of the most interesting items to me was really the project looking at employment opportunities and volunteering opportunities for young disabled people. We have a working group looking at that, but we are really quite passionate about making sure people have real opportunities once they've gone through school and left college to look at work and have work as a very real expectation in their lives. But we also see the value of volunteering for people for whom perhaps work isn't going to be a reasonable option, or who want to volunteer to get a feel for what the workplace might be like. Now that's being taken forward, and the Director of Social Services, Ian McBeath, was quite keen to look at opportunities to release some money to actually to develop the services that are there to support people in the employment world. Another useful piece of work that we undertook today was to sign off our co-production standards. Now, as a board, we've worked quite hard to develop standards which will inform all of adult social care in Hertfordshire about how we expect it to operate. And this might be co-production at the level of someone's personal assessment, their personalised plan. It might be co-production around the development and monitoring of new services. So we've used standards, we've used information that's been developed by other organisations like Sky, so we haven't sought to reinvent the wheel. We've used what's out there. We've produced a set of standards that will be shared with a number of different groups within the county, and we'll be reviewing them in 6 months' time. Another item we looked at today was the whole issue of isolation and loneliness in Hertfordshire. An excellent presentation from a gentleman called Mervyn Eastham at our last co-production board meeting, and he made us think quite carefully about situations within which people do become lonely and how perhaps they ought to have the opportunity to manage that for themselves and not simply to be offered services. Now, we've got a working group looking at this in more detail in early January. So what the board did today was do a bit of scoping work to help the working group decide how it wants to focus. And I thought the focus I think we're going to take forward is to look at the points in life at which people are more vulnerable to loneliness. That might be points of change, leaving home, coming into Hertfordshire to work or to come to university, suffering illness or bereavement, to look at what are the triggers and what perhaps ought to be in place to signpost people to the appropriate support if that happens to them. We also see the benefit of good practice, and so we want to look at good practice in other areas and good practice currently existing in the county where people are enabled to come together, manage their own activities, make friendships and enjoy social interaction. The final issue we looked at today was the Hertfordshire's 15-year plan for social care. Now this is a huge agenda really. This is looking forward, how many years ahead, at least 15 years ahead, to how social care will be shaped to ensure that people do live well and safely in the county. Now we simply looked at that for the first time today to have a bit of input and to take it back out to our own constituent groups so that they too can be involved in the production of this plan, which I think will probably be agreed early next year.
Hi, so my name's Danny Bailey. I'm a Senior Project Manager in the Improvement team, and I'm currently working on the Employment and Volunteering project with Sudaka and the Co-Production Board. So the idea behind the project is to support people with adult disabilities in finding volunteering and work opportunities in the county. As part of the project, so far we've been mapping the current offer we have across Hertfordshire for volunteering and employment, and what we're trying to do is look at where the gaps are and where we need to do some more work and develop that offer. Okay, so far as part of the project, we've been looking at what types of opportunities are available for people that have disabilities across the county. So this can range from volunteering opportunities and sort of roles that they can take up and just sort of experience what it's like within that sector, as well as employment opportunities that they may be able to access. But a key part of the feedback we've had so far has been that it's not really clear how you find opportunities or what might be the right opportunity for you. So that's a key piece of work that we need to look at. Another piece has been around the key areas where people need some support. So where individuals are maybe leaving school or college, what sort of support is available to them? Or later on, if they feel they do need some support, where can they get that support from? So what support is on offer from GP practices, the job centre, and various other areas where actually you might link in and think to get some information or guidance. So that's some of the first sort of research that we've done. And the next phase will be really tying down where we need to focus our efforts, maybe some of the target age groups we need to work with, but throughout this working directly with the co-production board and members on that board.
The 15-year plan, we talked about why we want to develop a 15-year plan for adult social care services in Hertfordshire. The reason why we think it's worth having a long-term plan like this is because we think there are some big challenges and big opportunities for how we develop adult social care services in the future. One of these, for example, is we know that the population of people who will have care and support needs is going to grow. So that's one of the reasons why we think long-term thinking is important. We then heard about the vision for people in future, how we want people to have fulfilling lives and maximising the choice and opportunity that they have, and that's the vision that's at the heart of this 15-year plan. And then the plan has 4 strategic ambitions, 4 areas of work that we want to take forward. One of these is about information and advice. There's one about how we connect communities together. There's a third one about valuing independence, so giving people freedom to choose, being in control. And there's a fourth one about caring well, so when people are in our services, we look after them as best we can. We're looking for your views about that and consulting stakeholders and partners over the next couple of months.